The history of science is the study of the development of science and scientific knowledge, including both the natural sciences and social sciences. The history of the arts and humanities is termed the history of scholarship. Science is a body of empirical, theoretical, and practical knowledge about the natural world, produced by scientists who emphasize the observation, explanation, and prediction of real-world phenomena. Historiography of science, in contrast, studies the methods by which historians study the history of science. The English word scientist is relatively recent, first coined by William Whewell in the 19th century. Previously, people investigating nature called themselves natural philosophers. While empirical investigations of the natural world have been described, since classical antiquity for example, by Thales and Aristotle, and scientific method has been employed, since the Middle Ages for example, by Ibn al-Haytham and Roger Bacon, modern science began to develop in the early modern period, and in particular in the scientific revolution of 16th and 17th century. Europe too. Traditionally, historians of science have defined science sufficiently broadly to include those earlier inquiries. From the 18th century through late 20th century, the history of science, especially of the physical and biological sciences, was often presented in a progressive narrative in which true theories replaced false beliefs for some more recent historical interpretations, such as those of Thomas Kuhn, tend to portray the history of science in different terms, such as that of competing paradigms or conceptual systems in a wider matrix that includes intellectual, cultural, economic and political themes outside of science.